Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We are happy that we have started our second episode of The Power of Trainers. And we are happy also to have Mr. Saibal with us today. Thank you for being our guest, Mr. Saibal. So, I'll just give you a quick brief
Thank you
about.
so much. Most welcome.
Thank you very much. So, I will give you a quick brief about our podcast. So, the podcast, of course, is related to our startup that is called finesttrainers.com. It's a startup that builds a community of great trainers, and it's a platform where trainers can actually showcase their abilities, skills, and what they can do and what they can teach, so they can be connected easily to corporates, businesses, and even individuals. So part of that platform and part of that startup, we decided to start a podcast where we actually engage and interact with these great trainers and showcase them to the world, and of course uh, show the world how training can be impactful, whether for your company and whether for you as a person, and whether for the community as or the society at large. So that's it from me. I will hand it over to Mr. Saibal. We would love to hear from you, Mr. Saibal, a quick introduction about you, and then we will dive deeper into our questions today.
Thank you, Mr. Abdul. It is a good evening to all the viewers who are watching right now from all over the world. Have a wonderful evening, and the weekend is starting, and it has already started in UAE and for some of you in other parts of the country or other parts of the world. So it's a wonderful initiative that you have taken, Mr. Abdul, to bring all the trainers globally across one area and one platform. So it's a great initiative. I must thank you for this. And thank you for your invite for joining this podcast today.
Thank you.
Tonight. So as far as I'm concerned, I have got almost 3 decades of working experience as a professional. Now, this is essentially in the areas, I started in the area of sales and marketing, and then I moved to human resource because of my passion for people, to work with people, to create difference in their lives, and so on. So currently, I'm focusing on two major areas. One is, of course, training, coaching professionals and budding entrepreneurs and people in leadership role. And also, I'm advising organizations in terms of their people management and managerial effectiveness and creating sustainable organization. So that is in about me in a very short form or a very short note.
That's amazing. I'll start with a quick question, and this question is based on what you've said. So, you've been in the industry for at least 30 years, or even more than 30 years. What have changed for trainings? What was training back then, and what is training today?
A very good question. I think I must appreciate this. When we started, at least when I started in my career, I remember the first initial days. For us, training was just about reading some manual or getting into some on-job training for 1 or 2 days, and then you start on your own. But eventually, what I saw was that from there we moved on to more formal trainings. So where it was more of classroom training and learning from the facilitator or learning from a very senior colleague of yours on the job. And again, today that same trend was going on for so many years, but now I think drastically things have changed. Now we are using technology as a platform. So it is also use of technology, a lot of self-learning and self-evaluation. So that's how the process of development is continuing. So we are moving from training to development or training to coaching. And, that's going to be, and there is a lot more interaction today. And the level of learning, of course, has gone up tremendously thanks to technology.
Okay, great. I think that's a great answer. But allow me to ask you this question. Do you think the rise of technology will replace actual trainers, out there? So that most people are, resorting to self-education. Most of them, they want to go and get a course online, which is good. Personally, I believe human interaction is extremely important. But what is the trend nowadays? Do you think, of course, technology has to be there, we need technology, we need to get educated online. But do you think there'll be a problem using this technology? Those people who, like the hundreds or thousands of trainers out there, do you think their business will go down? Do you think that they will be replaced at some point? Or what is the vision out there? Like what is happening, and what do you foresee in the future?
Today we are going through a challenging phase, or you can say it's a teething problem for trainers who go live and so on. But every technology has got, to answer your question, has got certain limitation. There is, of course, we are talking today of AI as a very powerful tool and so on. But then human emotions, human intelligence cannot be really replicated, in my view. So there will be a continuous, blended learning, which will continue from now on. And really talented trainers can prove themselves in this platform. So that is where I see the future.
That's great. I think, and I also believe, and I agree with you, that technology will always be in our side. Of course, there will be some downfalls of technology, but it will always help us actually upgrade what we are doing. So instead of technology replacing those trainers out there, I think technology will actually help them provide better training and better experience for users, especially those who cannot actually attend. And also, if you actually attend a training session physically, you can use several technologies such as Kahoot and Mentimeter. These kind of technologies, they are very interactive, very helpful in delivering the message in a more powerful way. I agree. I think technology will definitely be helpful in the future. So this brings great. So this brings me to another question, which is, what do we do moving forward? We have to agree that trainings are becoming rhetoric and boring. Let's be honest. At least the outlook of training is becoming boring and I would say rhetoric. It keeps repeating itself. What kind of innovations and what kind of, I would say, inventions that we can come up with to make trainings more exciting, more appealing, more interacting, and more engaging, and to attract more and more people to actually come and attend and sign up for these trainings?
Actually, today we are going through one change process that we are talking of. And in the coming days, technology will be even more powerful and so on. But going forward, I think the trainer has to work on three areas. So one is their continuous improvement and development. So they really have to be upbeat on the skills today. So that is where a trainer can actually engage the audience a lot and keep them, motivated, keep them engaged. So working on skills would be a great thing to work on, which means that they also need to upgrade on the technology platform. So I was actually talking to one of my clients last week, and they were asking a question that how far I'm familiar with the different platforms and so on. So really the client is anxious today to know how the trainer can really create the value through this different use of technology and the platform. Having said that, I think it is going to be the attitude also of the trainer, that a trainer needs to be really flexible about what they can and how much they can stretch, and the trainer has to move beyond the comfort zone, because that's where our limitations are within the comfort zone. So we always try to think that we can do certain limited stuff in this comfort zone. So going forward, a trainer has to work on attitude, move beyond the comfort zone, create flexibility, and keep on learning and gathering expertise on the subject matter. Because today, I'm talking about one area, like the areas that, for example, I expertise change and leadership. So I think there are a lot of content available today in the sites and in the internet. So anybody can go and read those. Yes. A trainer's role would be to create insight on this topic, or create a different kind of experience sharing. So the work of the trainer has become today will be to create experience. So once you start creating experience in the training room, and maybe before that, when you start meeting your clients, that's where you start making the differences. When you start analyzing their challenges, their problems. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I was working for one of my clients. They are a big name in the paint industry. So they have a challenge of, they have recruited BTech engineers for their company. And the problem is these BTech engineers, they are technically very sound, yet they are down in sales because they have to meet dealers who are not technically sound, but who are commercially more sound. And they also need to build relationship with the trade. So that's no technology is going to help them build up that. They need to be more resilient because then because it's a new brand and they may get rejections, and they are getting rejections. So a role of the trainer will be beyond technology. Now this is where the value addition comes in. So and it starts from the very first interaction. So I was working in the market with them, try to understand what challenges they are facing. So assessing the challenge would be very important for a trainer and create a value proposition based on those challenges and go deep down, because even today we have two sides of the human aspects. One is the intelligence, the other one is the emotions. So trainer has to, if they have to create an experience, appeal to both the sides, the emotional aspect and the intelligent part.
I love the part where you say that a great training is when a trainer actually have deep understanding of the topic. I think before delivering a training, the trainer should go deeper and deeper when it comes to the subject itself. And of course, as you said, you need to convert this knowledge into a living experience. People want to experience things. They just don't want to listen to theories on and on and on again. I think they would love to see these theories actually converted and transformed into a living experience, something that actually happened out there in a certain company or maybe in a certain country or a certain industry. And the deeper you go in the topic itself, I think the better the training will be. And this will take me to another question. The question will be, why some people or some companies believe that training is not important? Unfortunately, of course, there are so many companies out there and people that believe that training is important. It will definitely upskill them. It will definitely help them, I would say, get promoted. It will help them find new jobs. It will help the company at large to upgrade, to go, I would say, beyond expectations. However, unfortunately, there are certain, or I would say, very few companies or very few individuals, they feel that training will not add on to their, I would say, expertise, to their results, to their, productivity. So what do you think about those who say that training will not add any value to them or to the organization at large?
Great question, I must say. Today, we have some clients who have this kind of objection, that because they haven't experienced the impact of training in their own life. Having said that, they see there are an area like when we are talking of formal training and informal training. Every party in their lives goes up, through some kind of handholding, whether it is formal, whether it is informal, or whether it is learning from experience. So these are those set of people who have not perhaps have an objection to the formal learning. So that's why they would reject, the reason why, they think it's a wrong investment for them. Now, having said that, so that is where again we come about experience. That is where a person of value, as a subject matter expert, needs to go work with them and make a small difference. So take up a small task, one key challenge, and try to prove that this is possible through an intervention. And that intervention could be simply watching or motivating people, or could be handholding them on their job, or could be realizing or questioning and understanding their problem and giving them quick solutions, like what we call as online coaching. So some kind of a support. So gradually, if we do that, I think those kind of clients will get confidence on what a person or what an organization can do per se contribute in their development. So, and then I think they will, formally invest in this or in future. But there is no guarantee. But that's where it's quite an uphill task today, because many organizations believe that there is no use. So we need to sell the benefit of this. And yeah,
Usually,
in a way,
sorry to add. So usually the
yeah,
benefits are intangible. So you cannot really
yeah.
measure what is the benefit behind training right away. But as you move forward, as you see your people grow in the organization, they upskill themselves, they improve their capabilities. Definitely, the company will start performing better. They will start delivering more results.
Yeah, and to add on to what you said, I think when we evaluate our training performance, we need to evaluate in four parameters. First one will be the reaction. So these are those people, those organizations where, and we have a model today
Yes.
for measuring this. So reaction is the first part. The second one is the learning. Now, when I was heading training in one organization, which was changing from a family-driven business to becoming a formal corporate, my founder member or my managing director always told me, please take a test. I don't care whether they come from vice president level or maybe beyond, but take a test and I want to see their results.
Yes.
So, that's where, we talk of, the results, the answers, whether they have retained the learning. The third part would be how they are applying that learning. So we, impart a training and we give them a small project. And then, of course, the impact of the learning to the organization. So I think, the biggest challenge today, why, and coming back to again your question, why many people don't endorse training and they don't think that it can give them results, is because they don't fix up a parameter. They don't fix up their training goal that this is my ROI. And ROI could be varied. ROI could be, learning about a new product and then handling questions to the question and answers to the customers. Or they could be addressing the attrition issue, or they could be, addressing the disciplinary issue. And it is not always in terms of money, but in terms of the actual results that the organization can get. So if any organization can fix up that, then I think the work becomes easier for the company, and it becomes easy for us to sell the concept of training.
True. As you said, it's not always money. Sometimes it's branding. Sometimes it's growth. Growth is very important, especially for startups. Many startups, in the beginning, or at least in the first 2 to 3 years, they don't really focus on return on investment. They focus on growth and how do they expand and build brand. And definitely, if you grow your people, that means you grow your company and you build a brand. And of course, you start expanding. And of course, eventually, you start making money. So I love the point, and that will take me to another question. And I'll tell you also a small experience I had to go through, unfortunately. So trainings, yes, sometimes they are, I would say, irrelevant, but it's not always the problem of the trainer. Sometimes I feel or I believe that the problem is the company. So what happened to me recently, I was delivering a course that is called Fundamentals of Logistics and Supply Chain. However, the company, just because they wanted to send so many people, so they started sending, high, I would say, profile people to a very low profile training session. So people did not really relate to the training session. And I felt that, it was not really active and interactive. So however, we did a training with the middle managers and junior managers, and the training was extremely good. So we all agree as trainers, training is a two-way street, the trainer and the audience. If the audience is not right for the training, then the training is not going to be good. We all know that, and I'm sure most trainers, they believe in this. So how do we fix this problem? How do we convince people or companies to choose the right training, and of course to choose the right audience for the training?
Absolutely. Great question. So the first, so training comes from their role. Every role has got a certain area. So if you talk about typically and it must be linked to the key result areas or the KPIs. So when we are assessing the training needs, we need to kind of have a connect with their KPIs and assess the competency. For example, let's take a role like like a manager logistic. for example, the kind of role that you said. So,
Yes.
what are the four key competencies? What are the core competencies a logistic manager needs to have? And what are the additional competencies that they need to have? So, and where are they in the scale of, say, 0 to 5, 0 being the lowest, or 1 being the lowest, and 5 being the highest? So, when we map these competencies, and then we see if they, for example, the one that you said, they are already maybe on the level 5 of those set of competencies that you were imparting training on. So competency-based solution is the only word, the only answer. So if we assess those competencies and map those competencies and see where the person is, they should be in the training, they should be inducted in the training, and they should not be inducted in the training in the same batch. And another mistake many of our organizations do, or even we do, out of desperation to get business, that we include too many people in the batch. So that creates some more chaos, and multiple level of learners create more, a kind of, there's a gap. So the super learners, or those who actually don't need the training, or those who are very high on those competencies, they don't see the value of training in that batch. Whereas we can create that value if we have the right set of people and divide them into batches. So ideally, if you ask me what is the batch size for like a classroom training, it should not be more than 30. 25 to 30 is the ideal batch, because then you can mix them and have the group activities. And training is not just about presentation. Training is about how is engaging your audience. So they are into different activities and they are learning from each other. One of the key things that you also I want to answer in this case is, suppose there are some seniors who maybe have a higher level of competency on the particular competencies that you are addressing. So we can bring them as a co-participant, or just as an observer. And it is always a great experience of these people talking about their experience in the classroom.
True.
Or if it's a virtual learning, then they can come and share their bit of experience. That's a value add that we can have in the classroom.
I agree. As we can call them in as guest speakers or as participants. Yes, definitely. Just a random question.
And one mistake I think many of the organizations and the training managers are also doing, and same I think from the external perspective we are doing, is that we are not counting the competencies. So when I design a program, I always ensure that these are set of competencies that we are going to look forward, and this is the level, assess the level, and then we need to persuade our clients to ask them that they should admit only those set of people who are lacking in those competencies.
Great. So I have a random question for you. How often companies should send their people to trainings? Roughly, approximately.
A good question. But I think, it all depends on, the level. See, there are two ways of looking into it. One is the level of engagement. So when you're talking of engagement, and learning is a continuous process. So before and there are different levels of learning that we are talking about. So first one, you create awareness. So that's when you create that reaction. Oh wow, it was wonderful. Mr. Abdul went and created a wonderful training for us. We are very happy about it. So that's one level. So the next level would be the test and the assessment. So they write a good test, and then after some time they forget. Now that's the time. So maybe if it is the first quarter, they have we move up to level 2. In the third quarter, there should be or the second quarter, there should be a recap of what they have learned, and then we can actually attach a project. So we can create more value in the same, create a value proposition, the same offering that we have. And maybe in the next quarter, say the third quarter, we can actually evaluate where they stand in terms of, not in terms of their scores or marks, but how they're applying those learning. So we move up to the stakeholders. So as a trainer, I think we have to do a lot of stakeholder management over here, and how those learners have applied those learning, and what is the impact on the organization. So we create a value at that point of time, and we sell ourselves also.
Amazing. So this is the last question, but after the last question, I want to move and dive deep into your experience and into your services and into your award, I would say. Before we jump into that, I just have one last question, and the question is, if you have one advice for trainers, what would that be?
See, I will give I would put it in two ways. So that one single word would be, don't get disheartened, because that times are very challenging for the training industry as such. Because now we are moving into a different era, different challenging times, and we have to prove ourselves. So in order to prove ourselves, we need to stay flexible. We have to keep on continuously updating and learning, and that learning should be formal and informal. So stay open, stay tuned, connect with people, do network, and don't lose your heart. So that's what I can say.
I think it's a great advice. I will definitely take it myself. So I'd love to dive deeper into your world, and I would love to hear more about your trainings. What do you offer? What kind of training programs do you offer? More about your world, maybe. What do you do, and what are your future plans, and so on?
Yeah, amazing question, I must say. When I started my career as a trainer, like almost 20 years ago, because I came from a functional role. I came from sales and then managing teams as a people manager, and then I moved to the people function, the HR. So my initial training that I started was very simple. It was product training, simple process training, and so on. Because I like the interaction with people. Now, as I move forward, I moved into organization challenges because I was part of the people function, and it was my role to get people engaged, to keep them motivated, to keep them ongoing. So I moved to, started simple exercises or simple training on managerial effectiveness. Now, today, what I mostly do is organization change management, organization change training, leadership, training and offerings based on leadership development. Because our leadership quotient, or the power of leadership is equal to your culture index of the organization. So if that is not improved, whether it's a startup or it's an existing organization, both could meet disaster. And I'm not editing the word disaster, because that's where the entire success of the organization depends. So my offering would be more onto leadership, developing leadership. And so leadership, change, and of course, when we talk also of leadership, we have an additional aspect of leadership. It's not only about people, understanding people and helping them, but also about how we project our leadership to the external world. Because today, a leader has to also meet the external world. So that means leadership communication, leadership, presentation are very critical. So I essentially work around these areas.
Amazing. I think, yes, you're right. I think leadership, I want to talk something about leadership. I wanted to say something about leadership. Leadership is essential, is crucial nowadays. Like, yes, technical skills is important, but if you don't have leadership skills and if you are in a managerial role, you will be having problems. I've seen this problem in many of the companies that I work with. People think that they can grow up in the ladder just because they have some great technical skills, but unfortunately, going up the ladder and leading people requires leadership skills, which has almost, not entirely, but almost nothing to do with technical skills. So leadership skills is a whole other world. It's something that people need to learn, especially if they are in a managerial role. That's the misconception many people do have, because they are really good. For example, I'm an engineer. I'm really good at engineering, and I got promoted a couple of times. I'm leading a couple of people. That's it. But the answer is, it's not that's it. It's time for you to take a leadership course and actually learn how to become a great leader, because leadership, as I said, it's a whole other thing that you need to focus on. It has almost nothing to do with technical skills. And that's why I recommend every single person, if you are in a managerial role right now and you haven't I would say, signed up for a leadership course, please do, because trust me, it will definitely change your life. At least if you really don't want to sign up for a course, I would definitely recommend you read a book or maybe watch a couple of videos from credible, I would say, trainers to teach you more about how to become a great leader and how to lead people towards success.
Yeah, absolutely. And leadership, as you rightly said, it is not about technical skills, it is beyond that. And even a young person who is lesser experienced can be a great leader, whereas the person with more experience may not be a great leader. They can be a super expert or a specialist in their field, like you're talking of programming, you're talking of certain technical areas, so that they can be really super expert in their area, and they can do a tremendous job in that, super performance. Yet they can be weak in leadership. So, and a younger guy who comes with much lesser experience can be an excellent leader. So we need to also, find out those leadership talent, groom them for the organizational benefit.
True. We need to address, leadership as a separate skill from technical skills. That's what I always advocate for. We need to address leadership as a separate skill from technical skills. Great.
The organization that I advise, I tell them that, because we map their competencies, I do behavioral assessments and I talk and coach them. So I have a separate career model for these super talented people who are really good in their technical areas. So I have created a different platform for them because everybody wants growth at a certain point in their career. So I have designed a separate career model where they will not lead people. And on the other hand, I've created a separate leadership career path for those people who are super excited about, developing people, managing teams, and, getting things done to the team. So we can devise such mechanism in the organization. So that will be our value addition as a training organization. We can advise those organizations if they say that.
True. And as you said, like if I go back maybe a couple of minutes, backwards, let's say, trainers, if they really want to survive in this industry, which is becoming very, 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 very difficult, and the competition is fierce, they need to be peculiar. They need to be unique. They need to be innovative, inventive. They need to be a whole new thing. They need to think outside the box. They need to go, beyond their ways. They need to do things that they have never done before, because the old ways, I think, is not working anymore. And we need to start to think outside the box and figure out new things where we can change and transform this industry and bring it back to life.
Absolutely.
Because it's almost, unfortunately, it's almost about to die. And we need to bring it back to life by innovating, finding new ways to deliver training and attract people to actually sign up for trainings.
Absolutely.
Great. So we are almost done. I think we do not have any more questions for you because we enjoyed listening to you and the answers were really, really beneficial. And I hope the audience listen and actually benefit from all these answers, which actually makes sense, and it will definitely help individuals or companies perform, progress, and of course grow. And one last thing I would like to I would say address is if you are a trainer out there, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We will help you. We are building a strong community, and with your help, trust me, we are building this community not just for our brand or our company. We are also building this community for you, and you can check out our platform. The first thing you can see on our platform is we are showcasing you guys before we showcase our company. So please do not hesitate to sign up on our platform. We are here to help you connect with as many companies and as many individuals as possible and get you more jobs, and more paid, of course. Which brings me to us, I would say, a very quick question, Mr. Saibal. What do you think about our platform? What are your views?
Absolutely. As I said in the beginning, I will reiterate that once again. It's a wonderful platform and Dubai, the Middle East, is like almost, I consider it the center of the world, of the universe for us. So I think it's a place where it's diverse people meet and work together.
True.
So this is where I think we are about to create, and I'm very happy to be partnering with you, to be your close partner, and a new revolution can start in this area, wherein we create a culture platform. We really start making difference to organizations,
True.
not like any other service provider, but much beyond that. And this is a great initiative that you have taken. I wish you all the best, and more and more people will come and join this, the stream, and there could be a great, a kind of jolt that we can create to the whole corporate world. We can tell them that we are here to make a difference. We are here to create value for you. So wonderful. Please keep up this great work.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Saibal, for coming in. And if you are ever here in Dubai, I would love to have this podcast, face to face.
Yeah, certainly.
I think face to face it will be even more exciting than it was. Too exciting today, to be honest. But face to face, you know how it will go. I think it will be very exciting. So thank you very much for coming in. I really, really enjoyed the episode today. You have brought in so many insights, so many information. It will definitely, I'm being honest, it will definitely benefit anyone who would listen to this podcast. Thank you very much for coming in. If you have anything to say at the end of this episode, please go ahead. We are all ears.
Thank you so much once again. And I think, please continue this, as I said, this effort that you have started, and keep, people engaging people more and more. And I will be happy to, host some of your programs in the upcoming future. And looking forward, because when you travel to Dubai, and because that's where I say that there are a lot of good corporates in Dubai and in the surrounding areas of Middle East, and we'll be happy to contribute. Please, I think it's let the whole community of good, talented people and people who want to make a big difference to their career, to their life, can assemble here. And I will be happy to share my experience, whatever I have learned, and my journey with you. And keep going. All the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Saibal. And of course, for those who are watching, remember, if you are looking for leadership skills training, if you are looking for leadership programs, never hesitate. Contact Mr. Saibal. He is your trainer. He will definitely transform your company, or it will even transform individuals themselves. So thank you very much for coming in, Mr. Saibal. We enjoyed listening to you, and we will definitely, I would say, meet again, whether online or face to face, hopefully.
Certainly.
That's great. Thank you very much, and have a nice weekend. Take care.
Have a good weekend too. Thank you.